Welcome to Hamilton, kindergartners!
Good morning. My name is Dr. Rachel Summers, and I'm an administrator for the Special Services Department in the Port Angeles School District. And this morning I am in Miss Amy's kindergarten classroom at Hamilton Elementary. And as a former kindergarten teacher myself, I am really excited to welcome new kindergarten families to the district and tell you a little bit about the range of services that our Special Services Department provides for students and families. We do a lot of things in special services. We provide services for students who are experiencing homelessness. We support students who are currently in foster care, students who need home hospital services, students who are referred to student intervention teams for academic support, as well as special education services for students that have disabilities. So as you join our school district as a new kindergartner and as a new kindergarten family, we are so excited for you to start this journey, and we are very committed to partnering with our students and families to help them have the most success possible in their school journey.
Hello, I am Mrs. Williams, and I want to tell you a bit about food services. I have 3 important things to cover: our free and reduced lunch program, our meal pricing, and how to navigate our special diet program. First and foremost, we ask that each household fill out a free and reduced lunch application at the beginning of each school year. These forms come out in August and are available at the schools, sent to you with your paperwork by the school, and available online. Please note that prior to an application being approved, any charges are the family's responsibility. The only exception to this is if your household is directly certified through the state. DSHS provides us with information that is processed each month. Whether applying by application or directly certified, the district will notify you of your eligibility via email where available, and through the mail if no email is on file. Please be sure you check your junk email when you look for your eligibility information. These applications are due every school year, and if not submitted by the first week in October, students that were eligible the prior school year that are without a new application are dropped from the program. Should the child fall off the program, families are responsible for charges incurred. If your kindergarten student has a sibling in the district, we ask that you let your school know so that your child can be grouped with their siblings in our systems. This will allow them to be grouped for your free and reduced lunch application as well. All meals are free for the 2020-2021 school year due to current pandemic relief policy, but we do not expect that to be the case in the fall of 2021. Breakfast and lunch are served daily, and breakfast is free for all of our elementary students. Lunch is currently $2.65 for our elementary students and 40 cents for students in the reduced lunch program. The price for paid students are updated each school year and may change a little bit for your student. Should your child have dietary restrictions, we have a form available online. Special diet prescriptions must be completed by a certified medical practitioner. It is important that the doctor be as clear as possible about necessary food substitutions. If a milk substitution is all that is needed, we do not need a form on file. We have soy milk and lactose-free milk available alongside our 1% milk every day. Special diet prescriptions should be returned to the school where the nurse will review the information. Once these have been reviewed, they will be sent to the food service office for a final determination. Please reach out if you have any further questions about our food service programs.
Welcome to the School Bus Orientation. Today we're just going to go over a couple items that we talk about with parents that are new coming into the school system. So what we're going to do today is we'll talk about some of the bus items. I also have a couple of team players here today to help talk about what we do inside the bus on how to stay seated, how to keep our hands to ourselves, and maybe go over just some basic bus rules and stuff too. So with that, I will have my students go ahead and load onto the bus. We'll have them take a seat, and then if you guys want to come inside, we'll talk a little bit about what we do inside the bus. Welcome to the bus. As you can see, our students got loaded. They're sitting in their seats like they're supposed to. They're facing forward. If they have any items with them, such as backpacks and so forth, we ask that they keep those with them. We also ask them that when they're riding on the bus, to use a low classroom type voice on the bus so it doesn't get too loud. If they're sitting next to someone, to talk to them, and not to try to shout, back through the bus and stuff too. So when students go to get off the bus, we ask that they get off in an orderly fashion. And when students, especially when they're kindergartners, we ask to make sure that parents are always at the bus stop. If we don't have a parent at the bus stop, we're not going to let this kindergarten student off. If a kindergarten parent wants to let their student walk on their own, they can do that, but we need to have a note on file with the school district that we know that it's okay for them to do that. If we don't have a parent and we don't have a note present, we will keep your student on the bus. Bus drivers will contact dispatch and they will try to contact the parents. If we can't meet up with the parents a little bit later on the route, then we'll bring the student back to the school so that they can reunite with their parents a little bit later on. So if we want to go outside, we can at least show how we want students to cross in front of the bus for those that have to cross. So the students have just gotten off the bus, and for students that need to cross, we have them stand out here in front. You can see we have a crossing arm. That's right here. So the kids need to stand out in front of that. Before the student can cross, they cannot just cross on their own. They will need to look back up to the driver, and the driver will give a hand signal on when it's safe to cross over. And I will demonstrate that. I'll go back up into the driver's seat, and then I will motion to these guys on when it's safe to cross over. So on the bus, we have some other safety features and stuff. We have a radio system that all drivers have on every bus. So if we're trying to contact a parent or we're trying to contact the schools, and we can actually call back to dispatch and they can make those calls for us. And then we can have that communication back and forth on either trying to get a parent to meet the bus or trying to contact the school as well. We also have camera systems that are on the bus. So we have cameras that are up here. We've also got cameras throughout the bus. So if there's a situation on the bus that maybe a driver didn't get to see, they can actually pull up the videotape and we can take a look and see, what was, going on the bus. So. Also on the outside of the bus is our route sign. And that is basically to help identify, which bus route you're looking for. We also ask that parents in the morning when students are trying to catch the bus to make sure that they're there 5 minutes beforehand, and that way they're not running late, to catch the bus. Our routing information that we have will be posted on the district webpage by the middle of August. If you have any questions about the bus or about routing information, you can always give us a call. And I thank you for your time today, and we'll hope to see you in the fall.
Welcome to Franklin! Welcome to Franklin!
Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Sarah. I'm one of the nurses in the school district. I have Marlene with us today and Tasha. One other nurse couldn't be here today. Her name is Colwinder. So today we're just going to talk about some health topics that it's nice for incoming parents to know when registering their kindergartners. In the packet you have already received. If you haven't, please pick one up at your school. We have health inventory forms in there, and it's really important you fill this form out. This gives the school and then the nurses an idea of children coming in that might have health conditions and how we can meet the needs of your students. So once we get those back, the nurses review them, and if we need to, we will call you and gather further information. At that point, we will talk about developing a care plan if necessary, communicating with physicians if needed, and gathering other documentation such as medication forms, which Marlene will talk a little bit more about, dietary forms if your student has allergies to dietary issues, and any other health concerns that you may have. So Marlene's going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about some medication forms.
Hey everybody, I am primarily a nurse at Jefferson Elementary School, and I also am up at high school. What I wanted to mention is that any kid that has some kind of a health condition, we need to have this paperwork filled out. This is a med authorization form which we give to the families. They need to bring it to their doctor, and the doctor will complete his section allowing students to have meds in our school. The nurses, we have our own office. We have all of our medications are locked up inside of that office, and that we will also have this on file. And if the nurse is not inside of the building, what we do is we train the secretaries, and they are able to give the meds. Then we document that. So if you ever have any questions about anything that we can give you that information. The other thing I wanted to mention is about vaccinations. This is very important. All children need to be vaccinated prior to coming onto campus. This is the law, and we are pretty strict about this. And we just need you to be compliant. If you choose to vaccinate, fantastic. If you do not want to vaccinate, there is an exemption form, which is this form that I'm showing you here. What we would do is have you speak with your doctor. They will give you the pros and cons, and the doctor will sign off that he had spoke about that. There is also a religious exemption. So call your building nurse, and they will explain that more in detail. And here's Tasha.
Hi, my name is Tasha. I'm the school nurse primarily at Roosevelt Elementary, and I am just going to talk to you about a couple of things to add on to what these two have said. Your students may get injured at school because they are children, and injuries do happen. We try to do our best to keep them fixed up and back to class at school. But if they do have an injury, a significant injury, we will make sure to call you guys and let you know about that, especially if it's a head injury. We call on any head bonks. So we'll just make sure, just for you guys to make sure that we have working phone numbers on file in order for us to be able to get a hold of you. That would be great. And I think that's it for me.
I would like to also add to please always add an emergency contact. There are several times we tried to contact parents because of an illness or an injury, and we are unable to contact them, and then they might not have an emergency contact. So whether it's your neighbor or a relative, anyone, please have at least one emergency contact listed.
And also, if you'd like any more information on illnesses in the schools, you can go to the school district website. There's a great flow chart on there about returning to school after an illness. Especially with COVID-19 right now, we have extra precautions and policies in place. And so, again, if you have any further questions regarding that, see the website or call your school for any more information. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Olson, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning here in the Port Angeles School District. So I'm excited to welcome you to the district, and I want to tell you a little bit more about kindergarten, but I'll do a little bit about myself. So I love Port Angeles. This is my 19th year in the school district, and I've been a principal for 18 years prior to this at 3 of our 5 elementaries. So I have a passion for our elementary friends and for our kindergartners to take on this new chapter. So we are eager to welcome you and your student and your family to our Port Angeles family. And I have to say, kindergarten is a magical year. That's where we really build the foundation to continue to build your child's success through 12th grade with our ultimate goal, right, of having them graduate. So parents are seen as partners, and so we will be working with you to ensure that your child's needs are met to be prepared for first grade in all areas. It's not just academics that we are providing for, but we also want to provide PE, music, and social emotional learning, along with those core academics. A big part of our work in kindergarten is about teaching students how to get along with each other, school routines, and then that foundational academic piece as well. The social emotional learning, we use a curriculum called Character Strong, and it is a curriculum that goes K-12. We just started it this year. but the teachers are loving it. It's so developmentally appropriate for all grade levels. And what we'll be seeing is that teachers will be using that in the classroom. And there's lots of opportunities and components for you to connect with that at home. And again, build off conversations that have started at school. The academics, of course, we're going to focus on as well. So English language arts, really with the reading, we're looking at them being able to identify their letters, know all of their letter sounds. We want them blending and reading really by the end of the year. And most of our kinders start reading prior to the end of the year. So we want to do that. And we also know that with that, we're also going to be having them learn about ways to interact with literature and how to show what they understand about stories, so that comprehension piece. We also know that for writing, the big first thing we work on, right, is them being able to write their name. And then from there, we do beginning writing with a curriculum for handwriting called Handwriting Without Tears that really teaches them exactly what they need to do for writing. In addition to writing, we look at, again, being able to write sight words, familiar words. We'll get them writing a sentence. And our goal would be by the end of the year for them to be able to independently write at least 2 sentences. For math, we work on counting, one-to-one, understanding concepts about patterns, shapes, addition, subtraction, using visual models to show understanding of the topics, and lots of application with problem solving. Specialists, meaning PE and music, they will have PE twice a week and music once a week, as well as at least one opportunity to go to the library with their class. So again, we have a strong kindergarten program, and we've had that for years. COVID-19 has forced us to look at things differently, and so we're learning a lot from that. The number one question you probably have is, what is our model going to be this fall? I don't have an answer yet. Of course, there's lots of moving parts. We're waiting to hear from the state and the superintendent of instruction. And so we won't know it at this time. And our biggest hurdle is really around the social distancing. So if the 6 feet between every student still holds, we can't do an all-day model that way. Our classes aren't big enough. But we do plan to continue to increase student time at school as much as we can. So that's ongoing. And again, I just want to extend a warm welcome to each of you from the Port Angeles School District, and know that we look forward to welcoming you in the fall. Thanks.